Welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, we're going to tell you a little bit about these puppets here that I've used in quite a few episodes. They first were seen in improv with Professor Jane. Then I want to give the history of the puppets, and not just that, we're going to show you the making of these puppets. They were made for a contest. Stephen Ho, Donatello's stunt double from Ninja Turtles 2 and Turtles 3, put together a contest to win a copy of a storyboard from the second Turtle movie. And I wanted to get a part of that. So I jumped in and I pulled in help from the Cowabunga Corner crew. And I went to my dad and said, hey, I need turtle puppets. So he built me these 2 turtle puppets. And I videotaped all of it. Find out how we made these crazy turtles here on Cowabunga Corner. We are going to make 2 Ninja Turtle puppets.
How do you want these puppets to look? Are we talking about full body puppets? Are we talking about just a head on a sock type puppet? Or
we'll like the half body puppet, where it's a hand into the puppet, much like this Kermit the Frog is, but without the legs.
Okay.
So we got the hand inside the head.
Okay.
Oh! And then there's the floppy arms.
Okay, I have come up with a plan that quickly.
Oh, wow.
That's fast,
That's very fast, yeah.
Yes. See, what I'm going to do is make the head out of 2 pieces of foam. The first will be a larger piece of foam like this, and I'm going to make it big enough to carve out the front part piece of the head, and then carve out the area where the hand would operate the mouth. And then the back of the head to be a shorter piece that goes on the back after this is all sculpted out. Okay? And then, say, we put them together like that. Okay, so we'll get started on that right now. This is part of a sectional couch. One of the armrest cushions that went between the sitting areas on the couch. It's thick enough to where we can use it as the front of the face, say. So we're going to work on that. Now, I'm going to draw it in first with a red marker. So I'll have my cutting guidelines.
Prismacolor, an excellent brand of markers for any artist.
Okay. Now, I don't know if this is the best to do here, but this is where we're going to work. Okay, put your hand up there. Okay, so the outline of your hand, there's the outline, your hand and thumb. Okay, take your hand away. That's what we got to work with. Okay, so the turtle head would be, let's see, the eyes would end about there, and we'd have the mouth go up there, lower jaw, like that. There's one turtle head front, and there's the fronts of the heads. And we'll attack this one here. Okay, there's our cutout.
Here's my dad cutting out the heads for the turtle puppets.
Do a little bit of a stretch. It helps to stretch out the foam when you're cutting.
Using the electric knife, he now rounds off the top of the head, giving it more of a turtle form.
Put some more lines on here. This will not look exactly like your Ninja Turtle toys. I'll do the best I can. I just did the outline of the head here. Take the electric knife.
Cutting downward with the electric knife, he works to give the turtles their cheeks.
There's the top of the head.
And more rounding.
Bottom.
He finishes rounding the head with the electric knife before he moves into doing detail.
It's the time to do some sculpting. Sculpting, we're going to go on a pair of dollar store scissors here, and we're just going to take it down and sculpt it in the basic shape. The muzzle comes out more of a point. The cheeks coming out and coming in, kind of a beak I think somebody called it a beak once that I remember. Yeah. So the electric knife and cut that.
After drawing out the lines for the turtle nose, he gets out the electric knife and does a little bit more carving with that so that he can go in and give some real detail with the scissors after it's formed.
Go back to the scissors.
Using the scissors, my dad is able to take his time, go in, do the details, and work at smoothing out his projects. This is a fast project, just doing something for fun, so he's not going in and doing the details that he would do on one of his main costumes or something, but it still takes a lot of time and effort to go over and carve things down to make sure they're the right shape, and that is what he's working on with this turtle right now. You see him going over everything from the bottom, the front, the back. He just wants to make sure everything is in the right shape before going on with this project. Okay, he is starting on the second turtle head. We're just going to skip through the second turtle puppet because it's everything that you're seeing with the first turtle puppet. So here's a little bit of him carving that puppet, but this is it. We have bandanas for them. To be tied
bandanas
on for each individual turtle. So, of course, this will be after they're colored. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it is. Surprise, surprise.
This was without doing any measurements for it.
And we should be pretty much caught up to the first head. Now, I'm going to try to do the faces on here. Red marker. A finger here. And a finger here. I'm going to bring it up to here then. There we go. There's our turtle heads. Both of them. Now we're going to start doing some major cutting into the faces here. Okay, there we go. Those are our puppets. We have Ninja Turtle mouth successfully cut. The next step would be to hollow out from the back and make a slit on the top and bottom jaws so they can reach in from the back and make it talk. Let's do the other one. Okay, I want to have you put your hand up, make a fist, and put it behind there, okay?
Like,
so I can trace around it. Yeah. So you can see how big of a cavity I have to make. Okay, good. Alright. Grab a knife. That's just a box knife. Let's see. Back of the mouth is here. I'll put my fingers in there so I can feel the crotch or back of the mouth. I don't want to get down past that. I'm going to cut a circle back here for her to put her fist into when she's operating. Okay, there we go. See, it's cut in. Level off the cuts so they're not seized on the sides. And then cut the thing out like a plug by cutting across its base like this. There we go. We have an operating chamber inside of the head. Now, got to put slits in for the lower first. I can feel where the blade is by putting my hands into the mouth and feeling. And I'll carefully poke the blade in there and drag it. I have a lower. I got to put an upper slit for the fingers. Thumb goes in the bottom, fingers go up above. This has got to be wider than the bottom. And I usually have to cut it a little wider too so that the fingers can be put in there. Now that I have a slit, I can put the scissors in there and use the sides of the scissors to cut out a finger cavity in the mouth. Now we have the upper slit. When the hand goes inside, the fingers go into this slit. Thumb go in the bottom. Pa 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 ooh mow mow. Need to make a back. We have a piece of newer, sturdier foam here that we can use for the backs of the heads. We place the turtle's mask, the front part, onto a piece of foam, and we make a actually I'm going to make it oversized so we can trim. This is one and this is one. Numbers on them. Now we go to town with this.
Using a new sheet of foam, he cuts out the back of the Ninja Turtle head so that this head does not have a flat back.
There's the back of the puppets' heads.
To make sure the hole in the back of the one turtle head fits the hole in the back of the head, he has to draw it out and make sure they match up.
Make a shallow operating area in here.
After cutting the little piece out where my hand goes in the back of the turtle head, my dad makes sure the two heads match up completely, and he starts to use the spray glue, which is contact cement glue that works great with foam rubber. We use it on our costumes, our puppets, any of our props. It is one of the main things that I know around Halloween time. I'll smell this glue going in the basement. Next part is the drying.
What I'm doing is I'm drying both surfaces with a hair dryer until it appears dry or tacky. Then I put them together. That's what you do with contact cement. You have to have it on both surfaces. Now it's tacky, not leaving glue on me when I'm pressing it, but I can feel its tackiness. Same with this. Now I'm going to take this and put it right within the red line that I drew on there as a guide. Which it is in there now. Then take it and press the seam together. Like so. And seal it. There we go. Now the back and front are thoroughly attached. You can test it. It's not coming apart, not even in the thin part, which would be the bottom. It's holding it extremely well. That's why I like the 3M77. It's excellent glue. Okay, now we'll round them off to make it look more like a turtle head in the back part of the mask, or the back part of the puppet. See? Once it's painted, the other things like the eyes and stuff are added, the seam won't really be noticed that much. Right now you can see it pretty clearly though. Okay, now I'm going to round.
Just like the front of the turtle head, he uses the electric knife to carve out the form of the back of the Ninja Turtle head, and it's coming together nicely as we can see it take its shape.
Now I'm going to cut a little closer to the seam, maybe go into the seam. I'll do the rest of my rounding with scissors because I have more control. The knife kind of does broad cuts, and also leaves lines from those jagged blades on there. So we're just going to whittle away at the back like we did the front. Most of this is up here. Let's center this kind of so your hand can be useful here. Right in here somewhere. Don't want to cut up into the slits. That should be big enough. Take a box knife. sink it in, make a circle. We're definitely into the chamber here. Here's one. Let's get the bandanas and size them up for eyes. See if I have to make any depressions for eyes. Okay, see? Either cut them in half or sink a pit into the head. I have cut the eyes in half, and I'm going to countersink them into the head. So we've positioned them so that the bandana will fit onto them correctly when we have it dressed. And I'm tracing around the half eyes in the foam, and I'll cut a plug out of the foam so the eyes can be glued in place after we got the head painted. See, so there's a plug area right there. There's one eye. Now I'm going to press this one down and put a line around it too. There's eye number 2. Here's their outline. Now, cap the marker, and I'm going to use an X-Acto blade. To cut in. And I want to cut it in there too deep, so about 1/4 of an inch or so. And drag the blade around. About 1/4 inch eye plug there. Sweep underneath it with the blade so I can lift it out. See? There's our hole, our plug. There is our eyeball going in. Okay, so I am cutting out the other eye plug with the X-Acto. That's nice and level. Place the eye in. That looks fine. It gives some character.
Using this little black material that my dad has that has a sticky side, he sticks it to the styrofoam ball so that it gives the turtles pupils. Luckily enough, the stuff he has is already around for him.
That'll work. Okay, let's take the eyes out. Give you back your bandana. And we'll put a little bit of green on them.
The next step is giving the turtle color. So we got a nice green spray paint and just sprayed this turtle all over. Front, bottom, back. You don't want any of the original color from the foam rubber showing on these puppets, so you go over it quite a few times. You dry it some, see if there's any showing, then you add a little bit more spray paint. This is one of the things that we do on all of our puppets. And next we go into the mouth. As we said, no original color needs to be showing.
Okay, black.
A little bit of black spray paint inside the mouth is the final touch on the mouth, and then we dry it up.
There we go. A nice clean turtle and a shade. I gave him more depth than just having all one color.
Make sure the paint is dry.
If we cut the shirt across under the arm, so we have that long, and we have it, okay, we cut it down the middle. Green t-shirt.
This green shirt is going to be the material used for the body of the puppets. Both puppets will be made from this shirt alone.
Okay, we're going to make the sleeve body for the puppets. I don't sew, I cheat. I use a glue gun. Lay a bead of hot glue along here, throw it over, just get some object that I can roll along here, reinforce the seam. There's one. Okay. Little eyes there.
After the paint is dry, it's time to glue in the eyes.
When I make eyes, I like to give them reflection.
After adding reflection to the turtle's eyes, it's time to start working on the body as we have finished the detail on the face itself. Going down and taking that green shirt that we just made into the body, you glue inside the head and then around the top of the shirt and dry it, then stick it in there, just like putting the body together. Here he is sticking it in there, and now we got the turtle bandana. We're putting that on there just to give him some character as we're working on it, so we can see, yes, he does look like a turtle. Now to add on the body pieces. Here's the plastron and the back shell, all being made to go onto this turtle like as soon as it's painted. But before painting it, we have to carve it. So here he is carving out the detail of the turtle shell, going in there and cutting each of the lines it needs to with an X-Acto knife. This is how he does a lot of his detail, going in with the scissors to add that little more depth to it after already having his lines carved out. After that, we go in and have to spray paint the turtle shell and the plastron. So there's the yellow paint for the plastron, and we used brown for the turtle shell, getting front, back, again, making sure that there will be no sign of the original foam color. We have to dry those with the hair dryer.
Make a couple of arms here.
Next is cutting out the turtle arms, one arm at a time.
On the other side. Carve Ninja Turtle arms out of 1-inch pieces of packing foam. This is the same kind of foam that comes in the sides of a FedEx package to keep things from being damaged.
Using the same colors we used to paint the head, we paint the arms.
I'd like it a little shaded. Okay, let's sculpt the other arm. Okay, there's our other turtle arm, and I like the shade.
Next is putting everything together that we have just made. We've got the body with the head on it, so let's add the front plastron. Using the contact cement glue, we spray it into the plastron and onto the body, dry it up, make sure they're tacky, and then stick them on and make sure that they're together good and not going to come apart. Next, we work on the back shell. We make sure to do the same thing. Spray on the shell, but we use the shell to help give the lines of where we need it on the body before spraying the body this time. Dry it, and then stick the two together so that we now have a turtle with a front and back shell on it. Next is adding the arms. We use twist ties, something very simple since it's a fast project, that connected both arms together so that they can move around and be fun.
Tiny little body and huge head.
Very, very, very tiny body. Hi, I'm Donatello. Yo, dudes, and I'm totally Michelangelo. Getting a little camera testing here with two of us turtles on screen. I have to share the screen with him. I totally love being on screen.
Oh, this one's not done yet.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cowabunga Corner, where we showed how these guys were made. And we will be seeing you guys next week here on Cowabunga Corner.